All right, well, let's get started. We're really doing it. This is called the State of My Art podcast because it's mostly about art, and I have artists on, whether they're singers like Dougie Cousins here from the band Bearings. You don't have to, no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I know. They're kind of awkward. I just like to make sure that it's still working and not turning into like 8-bit noise.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. This is a pleasure, and it's cool to have you back down here.
Am I gonna make this fall off?
No, I think you can bring it down. Just like, yeah. I don't think it'll fall.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
It's kind of ghetto rigged, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I ordered one of those like clamp to the table pro ones, and I can't remember what happened. It was like going to take a week, and then they were like, oh, due to COVID-19, it's going to take like a month because we don't know how long it'll take.
No Amazon Prime?
I had Amazon Prime, and
really?
then I was like, if my Amazon Prime isn't even going to get it to me in the time that it says it's going to get it to me, then I'm just going to cancel my Prime for now because...
Yeah. See, I went through Amazon Prime for one, and it did take a little longer than expected.
Yeah.
But I did get it, and it's kind of cool. I feel like if I can, messing with it all the time. Yeah, just messing with it.
Yeah, I've never even seen how it works, but
it's basically just this.
Yeah.
But it's just fun because it has like a couple joints on it, right?
Right.
So you can just like bring it with you wherever you want.
Well, I'll get one eventually once all this is over. Maybe they'll ship it or something. But yeah, we're having some Coronas. Because when in Rome... It is the Corona season.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're not where they make Coronas. We're in Canada.
Yeah.
So we should be having like Molson or something.
And by that you mean spring.
It's spring, sure. But yeah, thanks for coming out here. We are probably only a kilometer away from each other right now.
Yeah, we're close.
Which is very rare.
Yeah.
You're always traveling. I'm always traveling.
Yeah.
And you guys were on a big tour, Bearings.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it was unfortunate timing for everything to go down.
I'm really sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all good though. It was great. It was one of those things where like the big show we were really looking forward to was Anaheim, so Chain Reaction, and we just played there like I think a month and a half before.
Yeah.
So in that way, it was like we got all like the kind of markets we were really stoked. Not to say we're not stoked on every market, of course. Mm-hmm. Of course, we love every city, but.
You have your hot spots.
Yeah, the East Coast was like what we were like really stoked on because we hadn't really played there since the Grayscale tour. So we were like, hitting Boston, and the only one we didn't do was Chicago. But again, we played like a holiday show there like a couple months before, so it wasn't like the worst thing. But yeah, it's unfortunate to have to drive home.
Because you were all the way in California?
No, we just played Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, in the way the tour routed was like we had to go back up to Columbus. So we were not like on the way home, but we were sort of like getting there. Like it could have been worse. Like if we were in like right in LA or something when it happened, that would have been just the worst drive home. Yeah. So luckily we weren't that far away. We were able to get home probably about 12 hours.
So you were about to play Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it went through all these weird things where it was like, yo, Columbus is canceled. Like, drive right to the next show. And then we were like, oh, okay. Like, if Columbus is canceled, and we were watching every other tour get canceled too.
Yeah.
Like, we were watching, like, this festival is canceled. This festival is canceled. This tour is canceled. And we're like, why is not, like, our tour is going to get canceled? There's no way we're going to stay on the road if everybody else is canceled.
Right.
And then we were seeing laws pop up, like, in this state, no large gatherings over 300 people, none over this amount, none over this. In this state, nothing. It's like...
So it kind of dwindled down.
It dwindled down, and it went like back and forth, and we just ended up stopping at like an Applebee's or something. We're like, let's just stop driving. Like, we don't even know if... Like, we could just go to the next city, but there's no way. Like, this is gonna...
Plus, you're almost entering Central Time, heading west to go to Columbus rather than just straight shot up Atlanta home.
So we just sort of stopped and waited, and then we got the word that it was like completely just in the gutter.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, at least we have our Hamilton show when we get home, because we had this show at Doors Pub that was sort of supposed to be like, it was like a small show that we're like, we'll just do a show and sell it out real quick at like a super small place. And just
was this last minute
stuff.
or it was?
This was a bit before. It was like, this company was putting it on and we were like mad stoked about it. I think Like Pacific had just done one and it rocked. So they kind of came to us and were like, do you guys want to do like a smaller show? We're like, yeah, that'd be great. And we were going to play like a bunch of old songs and we're like, yeah, at least we'll get home and we'll get to do that because it's a small room. And this is before we knew the full extent of like where things were going to, obviously it ended up being, going to a spot where like, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be like how it is.
No.
Where like everything is just.
It's funny to see what people were saying in like February.
Yeah. Everyone was just like, nah, it's not going to, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because no one's experienced this. It's mad weird.
Yeah, that is really. So how's it work for you guys? Because are you living out in Ottawa most of the time?
No, I haven't lived in Ottawa probably about a year and a half.
Okay,
maybe.
so are they all living out in Ottawa?
No, actually, I mean, pretty much all of us ended up, when the touring started pretty heavy, we pretty much all moved home. Okay. Yeah, we just kind of, because we were all renting and stuff, and it was like, we weren't home a lot. And then on top of that, it was weird to be in Ottawa because like no shows go through Ottawa. So anytime like our friends in another band were rolling through or something, it's like bands are not even really hitting Montreal that often anymore. Really? So it's like Toronto's really like the one-off for most tours. So we'd end up going to Toronto all the time. We're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna move home. Yeah. Just gonna go back to Brampton.
Where's everyone else from?
Oh, right, yeah. So our drummer's sort of out near Aurora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Ryan, our guitarist, is out he's in like Hockley Valley area.
Orangeville-ish?
Yeah, but he's like kind of out in the country. Okay. And then our bassist Colin's still in Ottawa. Okay. And Fitzy, our guitarist, is like half in Ottawa, half in Hamilton these days. So
you guys are from all over the place, and you only really got together because you were all going to school in Ottawa.
Yeah. We were like all in a music program, and we just thought it'd be fun to do a band. Yeah. But we didn't have any serious plans for it because I was, I had my band back home. And I was like, yeah, it's just 1 year, guys.
Yeah, you were still in Roadside Bandit, right?
Yeah, I was like, it's 1 year. Like, I'm literally going to go to college. I'll be back, and we'll get the band going again. And then, obviously, I don't know, something just made, like, it came down to the end of the school year. And it just seemed like everyone still wanted to do it. And living in Ottawa was pretty nice. So I was like, yeah, let's just do it for a bit. And then we bought a van. And
and you guys blew up.
And then we ended up taking it kind of seriously.
That's awesome. Yeah. Congrats, man. Yeah. You guys are doing big things.
Thanks, dude.
I saw you guys open for Grayscale in San Diego. Yeah. Amazing show.
San Diego's so cool. We never get to play there.
Was that the only time you guys ever played there?
It's the only time. Damn. So we had to do like all the everything that day. Like all the boxes had to be checked. Yeah. Like hit Tom DeLonge's store. Yeah. Oh wait, that was it.
That's the only thing on the checklist. Did you get burritos?
Yeah, we got burritos.
There, that's another key thing to do.
It was great.
Nice, man. Yeah, you guys got to come back. Whenever these venues open up again. When is your prediction? When will you be back to playing shows?
That's the weird thing though, is like, I wonder if that feels like a loaded question in the sense like, I feel like shows will be back pretty soon.
Yeah, just like small capacities.
Super small capacity, but like who wants to go to a show where you're like, everybody's like standing a bit apart? Like I think that like acoustic shows where everyone can like sit.
In the boxes.
Yeah. But I just mean like in general, like I used to work for this dude who did acoustic shows and he'd play at like, kind of like not restaurants, but it was sort of that vibe. Like you'd sit at a table and have a meal or a beer. And it was like him playing his own original music, and he'd sell it out every time. Like people loved him and would buy the CDs, and they were excited. Wow. But it was like such that vibe type of thing. Yeah. And so I think acoustic shows like that'll be like popping pretty soon. Yeah. And like stuff you can do on like patios and stuff, like small acoustic stuff. But yeah, big bands that like are selling out crazy rooms. I wonder if they'll move to a kind of a spot where they'll have to do like 3 nights in a row in like a 500 cap room.
Yeah.
Which would be a dope tour to be on as an opening band.
Yeah, you're like kind of a resident for 3 days too.
Yeah, you get to actually hang out and not just go from city to city to city. You get to like hang out for a few days, and I think that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah, that's a good option. I know they're doing like the drive-in thing. What's his name? Andrew McMahon has one in LA area.
Yeah.
Coming up. Have you guys done any like live stream stuff?
Yeah. So I've done two where I just sit in my living room or whatever and just play Bearing songs.
Cool.
And people seem to like it. It's like pretty chill. It's like people can ask questions if they want.
Mm-hmm. And it only gets them more excited to see the full thing once it's back.
Yeah, and we've been working on trying to do like a live, like where we're all at our own places and we just like record like we've been trying to do like little covers.
Yeah.
But it's weird because we've never been that band to like do little covers, but like TikTok's a thing now, so we're like maybe it'd be cool to do that, like just do little short cover things. But it's surprisingly harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like just doing your own vocals. I've never had to like do my own vocals. I've never like demoing's one thing, but to like anything you'd show someone else, it's like such an odd process.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that like I've kind of always had to do it that way. So
you're mad good at it.
I know the way to do it now, where you just do multiple takes and then comp it.
Yeah.
And I've got like some decent mics. But yeah, I've been back in the studio with Steve Risen, and he's mixing a bunch of these like punk legends coming together doing cover songs.
Yeah.
And he's telling me how some of them are just like sending him phone recordings of their drumming. And he's supposed to mix this. Oh man, I can't imagine what he's going through. But yeah, that's what a lot of people are kind of resorting to, because they're like, I mean, what are we going to do? Release new songs right now real quick?
You can't like tour on them either.
Yeah.
And like no one wants to, like we have a whole record that's finished and done and ready to go, and it's like we were planning to have it out we didn't really know when it would be out anyways, but we were sort of thinking like maybe in the fall or something. But now we're just sort of sitting on it, like we don't really know. Like we're just whatever we're told to do, we're just gonna do.
You heard it here first. New Bearings ready to go. All you got to do is
exactly.
kidnap one of the members and force them to let you listen to it.
Yeah. Just got to hack our computers.
Hack into their email is probably easier.
Yeah, probably.
Damn, man. Well, I mean, I guess it's good that you didn't release it kind of right before it all happened, all-time low style.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're that big, you can do it.
Yeah, if you're that big, then it's kind of like, well, now everyone's going to be sitting at home streaming us over and over and over.
And then if you're in that situation, you can like do that, and then I think like go back in and just do another one. Like you know what I mean? And
yeah, while you're not touring, you could
dude,
go
like the
do
1975 just put out a record, and they're like,
oh really? It's finally out.
Yeah,
that's
and it's
right.
like, and they're like in the studio right now, like recording another one, because like, well, what else would we do?
Man, and they didn't come out with this. Well, this is what, their second one.
This is like they're well into their thing now. I don't know what number it is.
But
maybe
the one
4 or 5.
before this did so well that they didn't need to make another one for so long. They were just touring.
Yeah, it like felt like it just came out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, let's just, I don't know, man. But people are just so stoked on them.
Yeah.
Like they could just put out music, and I mean, it helps that they don't really write bad music. Like every song's pretty killer.
Right.
So they can just go in and do a bunch of weird shit, and it always sort of works out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's because some bands that we grew up listening to, I remember there was a period where Sum 41 didn't do another record for 4 years.
Really?
And it's not like they stopped touring. Like they were still active.
Yeah, but for a band like that, it's like, I'm sure they've got to play the Fat Lips and everything.
Oh, yeah.
All killer, no filler. And it's like, you're probably playing 2 or 3 max new songs off that new album anyway.
Yeah, dude. But this was when they were like, I'm talking about when we were like growing up, like when they were like, they're still huge, but I mean like popping.
Yeah.
Like on MTV every day and shit.
Right, like right after Does This Look Infected or whatever.
Yeah, just, I don't remember what album it was that there was a 4-year gap between, but
I could see it.
It seemed like a long time at the time.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of bands like Alexis on Fire who were like every year putting out an album.
Yeah, I mean, they're just... I feel like some bands are, like, almost aware of, like, how quick it happens. Like, I think they're aware of, like, yeah, we're cool right now.
We gotta keep it going.
Let's just, like, really, like, hammer at this for, like, the 5 years we can be cool for.
Yeah.
And then... Because there's, like, a lifespan to a band. You know, it's not like, I feel like when it's an individual artist, like all these pop artists, it's like they can just exist forever.
Yeah, or they can go away and come back and...
Yeah, and it feels like with bands, it's like there's too many like moving parts to be able to do that. It sort of gets its like, it gets its shot where you're around for, you put out 2 or 3 or 4 records, and then, you know, something...
You become, oh, I remember that band. I listened to them in high
yeah.
school. Like, why would I listen to that now? It reminds me of who I was back then.
Yeah.
Maybe with like a solo artist, it's like, oh, I grew up with them. Like they're, I feel like I know them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it's like you can't, a solo artist can't break up.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I mean, they can just like stop doing it, but...
Or members get replaced and stuff.
Yeah.
And then people lose interest.
Yeah, and it's, yeah, I think bands is such a funny thing. Bands are just weird.
It's a brand. It's like...
Yeah. Oh, especially now, you're basically, like, you have to find a way to, like... I think that's why so many bands focus so much on merch. Because, like, back in the day, I think it was big, but, like, now it's, like, you don't make money off Spotify, so...
And you guys toured with the kings of it.
Oh,
yeah. Grayscale, man.
They are the kings of it, man.
Their merch is, like, genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think everybody saw them do it, and they're like... We should probably start doing that. Yeah. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, we should probably do this if we actually want to make a career in music, if we ever want to pay rent one day.
Yeah, because
especially
not live with
our parents. Because
a lot of the deals now, I could be wrong, but you get to keep all your merch, and so why not make that your...
Yeah, I mean, not every
brand.
It depends on the label, I think. Some bands don't get to keep all their merch.
Some it's a 360 deal, but like... Yeah, I don't know. You're not going to make much out, especially because there's not really CDs being sold all around the country at stores and stuff.
Yeah, people still... That's why touring's great, because people will still buy records.
Yeah.
Like, people will still buy a vinyl physical record. Like, we sell so much of that.
More vinyls than CDs?
Yeah, it's almost like no one really, you know.
Yeah.
Because a vinyl's like, it's almost like they can like, you can like put it on your wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, even if you never intend on listening to it, it's like a big piece of art to like put on your wall.
No, it makes sense why they made a big comeback.
Yeah.
But I've just never, dove into that vinyl pressing because, I don't know, I just felt like I would have a small group of fans of my small following that would care about a vinyl, whereas I play such like obscure shows, sometimes bars and stuff, where if people want to support me, they're like, well, the cheapest thing is a CD and I have a CD player in my car, I'm gonna buy a CD. Yeah. So like, oddly enough, I sell a lot of CDs still, but I don't know, I feel like if I got vinyls, there would be like 5% of the diehards
and
that
they're
would
tough
be
to
like,
press too.
Yeah.
Because you have to press a lot for it to be like, I feel like it's just one of those things. Like, you can't just be like, yo, can I get 10? Or can I get 50? It's like, that was our issue, is like, like, what if these don't sell?
It's a big
But luckily,
investment.
they've been selling, so.
But that was on your guys' dollar to go get them pressed?
No, it wasn't. But it was still one of those things where we're like, it was still one of those things where we're like we still have to like cart all of these around. Like, that we got sent so many, and we're like, what do we like do with these? But they sell, which is like mad cool. And people, because I think for a lot of people, they like it because it's like this big piece of art, and then they want to get it signed. Right. It's like a collectible. Yeah, whereas a CD, I guess, to a lot of people, is like, they'll still do it, where we like sign the CD or whatever.
But how many people have like crushed jewel cases just like sitting? Exactly. Like, I have a bunch too that I'm like, does this CD even work?
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing with CDs, is vinyl too. Actually, they just kind of,
You would think,
run
but
out,
everyone's
but-
got a safe place to put their vinyls.
That's true. People don't treat CDs with the same respect.
No, a CD is something that just like gets dirty in your car.
Yeah, and you also just do this weird thing. Do it with video games too, where you like you at first are like, I'm gonna be really organized with this, and then you hit a point after owning however many CDs or video games or whatever, where like you really, when you open that case, you know it's not gonna be the game that's supposed to be in the case.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You'll have
Yeah.
like 100 CDs and you open it, you're like, Shania Twain. This is a Blink-182. What? Like, it's just like everything ends up in every other CD case.
Yeah. I kind of miss those days.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I gotta organize my CDs today.
Yeah, or like just knowing that like track 7, you're fucked. Like that one just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's the skip song.
Right.
It's just gonna skip the whole time and suck.
Yeah, you made it.
So you get in other people's cars, you're like, track 7, let's go. I
Yeah.
don't get to listen to this one.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
So you're gaming a lot too now while
Yeah.
you're stuck at home
Yeah.
on the Twitch grind.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's been like I don't know. I just didn't think it was going to be as cool as it's become. You know, because it's not like I have like 1,000 people watching every night or anything, but
You get to play with the same people a lot, and
well, I just try to make it so that like it's a lot of fans of the band, but
Cool.
there's a few people that just like sort of tune in,
Yeah.
that sort of just discover it through Twitch or whatever. But what's cool about it is like I can do it like I do like Mario Kart on Saturdays, where like anyone can come play. Like I just have my friend code out, and like if you're a fan of the band or you're just someone that likes to stream or whatever, or you're just like a friend of mine, like it doesn't really matter. It's like anyone can come and play, and I think people really like that, where they can come play with like even it's just Mario Kart, but they get to come play Mario Kart with some of their favorite like
Yeah.
dudes from some of their favorite bands, and I think that's like I don't know, it's just like a cool thing that for people to enjoy. So that's been a lot of fun, and then just been playing like Chell. You know, if someone's
Nice.
talking a little shit in the chat, I'll be like, "You want to play?" You know, so I'll take anyone on, and it makes
There
it
you
fun.
go.
You just got. I think it's just one of those things, but it's been cool. And I'm squeaking it up.
yeah, that show's getting worse and worse. The first episode wasn't that bad. I sat in it last episode, and I was like, "Oh God, just sit really still." And then
Yeah.
I forgot how brutal it is. But my brother uses it with his like whole Dungeons and Dragons magic
Yeah.
setup he's got over there. It's been an interesting road with this podcast thing. I don't really consider myself a good host yet. I'm trying to get better at it, and I don't really. I mean, I've got the gear to do this thing,
Yeah.
but I don't really have the interview skills. I'm used to being interviewed and just, oh, sure, I'll answer some questions, but like to think of questions. I mean, I don't really want this to be a think of questions
Yeah.
thing
And at
anyway.
least you've been on the other side, where like, you know, like some questions that just suck.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, dude, let's just not even do questions. Let's just
Yeah,
talk.
Exactly.
Let's just have a conversation.
I think that's the way it's going, anyways.
Yeah.
Like nothing honest. I mean, not nothing honest, but I feel like it's so hard to get an honest reaction out of someone when it's like, "What did you write the record about?"
Right.
And you're just like, I mean, there's like 10 songs on it, so that's.
10 different answers.
Do you want me to go through the? Yeah, like it's just a bunch of some songs are about nothing. I don't.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really hard to give like, and you know that they're gonna have to, because so many people who interview do like the thing where they like have to transpose it, and like you know that, and you're like, I should keep this as short as possible.
yeah. If they have to like
Put
write
it to
all
text,
out.
yeah. So you're like, I should not say and I should, and I'm like thinking about all those things, and I'm like,
You end up saying it more.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about like dudes like Elon Musk, who just don't have like transitional words.
Right.
That like it like freaks me out, sort of.
yeah, it's hard to listen to him talk because he's just thinking, well, I don't want to just like blabber and say things that I don't actually mean. So give me like 5 minutes to think something up.
Yeah.
And then, and it's like, well, that's how it works. Like if I'm like writing something,
Yeah.
I really stop and reread everything I've written and then be like, okay, this would go good here.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm talking, I'm like,
Yeah.
did I even make sense for the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, no, dude. That's the craziest thing. That's why that dude's wild. Unrelated to that though. I know it was a bit of a reach, but
No, that's the second time his name's come up on this podcast now of 3 episodes. So
pretty influential dude.
Yeah, dude.
Influential dude.
Yep.
Yeah. He's an alien, bro.
Yeah, and he believes that we might be in a simulation.
He goes, doesn't he go like super back and forth on that though?
Well, he just says we could be.
Yeah.
And
which we could be.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, man.
Like, think about how crazy video games are.
Mm-hmm.
And just like how smart, like AI and video game, and that's like consumer level AI. That's like, this needs to be predictable enough for someone to play it. But like, it's getting pretty crazy with some games, just how smart AI can be.
Dude, this reminds me, and maybe we already talked about this when we were hanging out in San Diego, but when we were on our last tour, we had this reoccurring conversation about, imagine a video game where you're an artist or in a band,
mm-hmm.
and you know how there's like Guitar Hero and Rock Hero.
Yeah.
So there's that element to it, but that's only like 2% of it.
Yeah.
Because really, how much are you at band practice and performing? 2%.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you got to drive to the show. You got to move your gear. There's all these little stupid games. You got to deal with the sound guy. You got to get your work permit to cross the border.
Yeah.
You got to like all the bullshit that you don't want to do to get to the show. So it's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto. The map's like as big as like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
And you got to like travel from venue to venue. You got to start in the small venues because the big ones aren't going to take you yet. You got to build a following. The menu is your phone and social media, and you got to like promote. You got to book. You got to check your email.
Dude, but then at any point in the game, and you cannot prompt this at all, at any point, you just get robbed.
Yeah,
and then you just start from the beginning, and it has doesn't dictate whether you've been playing it correctly or wrong.
Yeah.
It just randomly happens, and then you start over.
You have a bank account, you have the cash box, but the cash box goes missing.
Yeah, like you hire this real sketch. You have to like allocate your finances, and you're like, we don't need to spend a lot on a merch guy, and then he runs away with all the money. You're like, fuck, we should have just hired a proper merch guy.
Oh man, there's a million different scenarios that we could probably think of that would make the game so damn hard.
Yeah.
But so realistic. And the whole goal, if you're really good at the game, I don't know, you get like nominated for a Grammy or something, but then that's the end of season 1. You don't win it. Then the next game, Rock Hero 2, is you like really got to go for it and win like 3 Grammys. You're no longer in a rock band. Now you're like doing pop stuff.
You've gone solo.
Yeah,
you've gone solo. You're like, you're killing it. You're dating a supermodel.
Yeah, you got to deal with like the whole like TMZ world now.
Yeah, you got people following you everywhere.
Yeah, it's like Tony Hawk Underground. Like the first one, you're just like a small kid coming out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But then the second one, you're like, all right, I'm going from sponsored to pro.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, those games were so good.
Yeah.
So good. I miss skateboarding games.
Yeah, man. Those are the only games I'm really actually good at. And you were saying there's a new one coming out?
Yeah, there's a new. They're like, it's not. I guess it's not new, but they're just remastering Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I think.
I feel like they already did that recently.
They did, and it was awful. It was like literally horrendous. They did. I forget what game it was, but that was the thing. Yeah, they were basically, but they did a really bad job because I guess Activision are the original creators of Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
But now they do Call of Duty. So they're like, yeah, we could do skateboarding, or we could just keep making like the highest selling title ever right now. So let's just keep doing that.
So someone else made
So someone else is sort of making. So the last one, yeah, it was like put off to a different company.
Okay.
And they fucked it up super hard. So this one is going to a company that's like basically like known for being able to recreate games super well. And Activision's sort of giving them the lowdown on how to really get the mechanics right, to like make it feel like the old games.
Yeah.
I guess that's the general idea. And then but they're killing it. Like literally all the maps on the other one, like they didn't really have the maps. Like it was supposed to be a remake, but they didn't even have that many of the same maps. This one's supposed to have all the same maps. They've pretty much locked down the original soundtrack, which apparently was like mad hard to do.
That's key.
Yeah, there's a few songs that I guess they couldn't get the licensing to or whatever to use.
Yeah.
So there's a few songs that'll be missing, and it's not songs you would think would be missing. It's like real punk bands.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like I don't know. It's weird that they can't get the licensing to it because it's not like they're on like major labels or anything.
Yeah, if anything, you'd think those bands would be like, yeah, we could use some money.
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe like the masters just got lost somewhere, or like.
Or maybe the master's owned by like the indie label that originally put it out or some shit.
Yeah, and like the indie label's like folded and since been bought by like some, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
Universal owns it now, and they're like, no, we're not.
Yeah, exactly. They got bought up and just ended up somewhere weird, and like you just can't get the licensing for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone's playing hardball. No, you want these Tony Hawk songs? You got to pay us triple that.
Yeah, because they know that it's like this band's only way of making money, and the band's like, just give them the fucking song. And they're like, no. It's like, we need to get enough money. They're like, we don't have any fucking money. Like, just give them the song. They're like, no, man. That's probably that's probably it, man. So probably some like small label with a vendetta against the band.
Yeah.
Like they stopped getting along, but the label still has like the licensing for it.
Or the deal like gives them like 99%, and they're like, we're not just sitting here getting 1% of your Tony Hawk money. No.
That's true. Yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? That's crazy to think. It's also crazy to think. Like on that note, there's like so many crazy things, like that you wouldn't think are owned by anybody, but are. Like how Happy Birthday was owned for the longest time. I don't think it is anymore. I think there was
popular song ever.
Yeah, I think it's not owned by anyone anymore.
Really?
Because yeah, that's why in movies it would always be like, for He's a Jolly Good Fellow or whatever, right?
Oh.
They would always just use like an alternative song at birthdays because they couldn't pay for it because like it was some big, I don't want to say a major label, but a major publishing company maybe. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but someone had it.
At some point, somebody probably said, screw this, I'm copywriting, I'm trademarking this if no one has.
But you're not really allowed to after a certain amount of time, right? You have to like...
It's public domain or whatever.
It becomes public domain. But some songs just get... Like there's a Beatles song that ended up being public domain before it should have been. Just because it got... Dude, that... Thinking about like all that shit weirds me out. Like they were like we think of how records come out, but like back in the day when the Beatles were around, like they'd release records that like weren't the same in Europe as they were in the States.
Yeah.
Because they dictate it based, I guess, on when they were going through or.
Well, I thought it's still kind of like that with like Japan too, isn't it? Like you need two more songs. You guys have recently done Japan, didn't you?
We haven't played Japan now.
Oh, really?
We want to. We're probably when we get out to Australia, we'll like try to make Japan a part of that.
Sweet.
Yeah, but we hear so many crazy things about Japan.
Yeah,
it's just like the coolest place.
They buy $25 CDs. They love music.
Apparently, you can just leave your gear out on the sidewalk and no one will touch it.
Yeah. People don't even lock their bikes.
Yeah, like there's such a huge like, is it like respect or like, honor or like I don't know, but they have like it's like. You know how, like, when someone does something shitty at the grocery store, like, they butt in line?
Right.
And everyone's like, that was shitty, and we all think you're shitty.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, it's not the worst. But, like, to do that there would be, like, public opinion is so important.
Yeah.
So to, like, steal or, like, do something like that is just viewed as, like, forget the jail time. It's just, like, the people will view you a certain way for doing that to someone.
That person's a thief.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I kind of like it too. I think we need a little more of that.
Yeah. I mean, we have that with like online culture more than ever, obviously.
And I think that's like almost like we need it. It's almost like it happened because everyone was just being so shitty.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, there's no way to really condemn other people other than just like posting on Twitter. Yeah,
just like ruining their lives.
Yeah, and it's like one of those weird things where you're sort of like I don't know. There's just so many shitty people where you just wish like I wish everyone knew how shitty you were. Mm-hmm. And then obviously that you see that happen all the time online and stuff. Yeah. And
whereas Japan, they're way ahead of that.
They're way ahead of that. They're past the online part. They're just doing it in person.
Yeah.
Like if you're shitty, you're shitty, dude. Like I don't want to hang out with you. You can just
I'm gonna tell all the people that you know about how you just butted in line at the grocery store, and they are not gonna be happy.
Yeah, I just took a video. You're fucked, dude.
Yeah,
Your life is over. Job fires you. It's like, we saw you butt in line. And you're like, you don't understand. Like, my sister was dying. Like, she needed this medication. She's like, yeah, dude, shouldn't have butt.
It's probably like that with driving too, because apparently they're like really fast drivers. Not like they speed, but the whole pace of everyone, because of that respect, maybe.
Yeah.
Everyone is like moving smooth, fast.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, Europe,
you can't screw up in Japan.
Yeah, Europe and the UK sort of feels like that at times, where like roundabouts and stuff, just where like everybody's doing it and it's going fast and it's working.
But like being so systematic.
But being from here, it's like I don't get it. Like, how is everybody doing this and not crashing into each other?
Yeah, I couldn't drive there. Not only with the lanes being so skinny, but like, and driving on the other side sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then half the people are on the other side and half the people are on the right side.
Yeah, and you have to like, dude, it's so true. I remember we were in Paris and I was like, I could never drive here.
Yeah.
Like, this to me looks like chaos. But to anyone that's like from there, they just get it.
Yeah.
I mean, and we grew up in Brampton, so we're pretty used to chaos.
Oh yeah. Worst drivers probably in the world. I mean, Canada has the highest insurance rate. Ontario has the highest insurance in Canada, and Brampton has the highest insurance in Ontario.
Yeah.
So.
And I get it, man. It's crazy, but I think it's like I used to think it was the drivers, but I've sort of realized after like you go, you travel all over the place and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And you realize Brampton's just laid out terribly.
Yeah.
Like, you basically have just like made like they're like, well, we could build a highway, or we could just build an 8-lane road with stoplights. And it's like, what? Like, why didn't you just build another highway? Like, what is the plan here? Like, but it's because it like started so small and was like it was country, it was farmland.
It was farmland,
and it grew so fast, and they didn't like really think about it, so they just kept adding lanes to all these roads.
Yeah. And
now you have like basically highways, but that are like not highways.
Right.
And you're just relying on these like, four lanes here, just all of this to just somehow work.
Yeah.
And it's like no other city operates like that, really.
And there's not many arteries either. It's just like a lot of lanes in certain areas.
Yeah, like Queen Street.
Queen,
and, you know, it's like, it's crazy. I just think it's laid out terribly. And they have like no real system for cycling or anything. So you're pretty much gonna have to drive wherever you go.
Yeah.
There's no real good public transit to Toronto.
Well, I always thought it was crazy when we were told as kids to not ride your bike on the sidewalk. I was like, where else are you going to ride your bike on McLaughlin Road? Like,
yeah, you get run over, dude.
Yeah, I'm riding on the sidewalk for sure. And then I start like traveling around, and even in Toronto, and I'm like, oh, they actually have bike lanes here?
Yeah.
There's no bike lanes in Brampton.
No.
It's just, you go on the sidewalk.
And there's like a respect for cycling in Toronto.
Yeah.
I feel like most people in Brampton don't even know you're allowed to be on the road as a cyclist. It's like, why the fuck is there a guy on the road on his bike?
Yeah, it's almost like if there's a guy on the road on his in a lane, that lane's closed, basically.
Yeah.
You can't drive around him.
And everybody's honking. They're fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just such a bizarre city, the way it was just basically like they were like, let's just build as many homes as possible.
Yeah.
And just see what happens.
Homes, schools, and hockey arenas.
Yeah. There's so many dope hockey arenas that just aren't, like Vic Park burning down.
Oh, I didn't even know it burnt down.
Yeah, it's if you drive there, man, it's done.
Wow.
It burnt down a while ago, and I was under the impression that they would kind of get it going again.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's not gonna happen.
Damn.
It's a bummer, dude. I remember going to Blues games and like having practice there and like going into the corners, and it was just a fucking like the Rocky Mountains of ice. Just like the ice was so uneven where the Zamboni would come in and out.
Yeah.
It was just atrocious. Like,
man, yeah, I missed that arena.
Anytime someone got hit into the boards, it sounded like you just got like put through.
They were rock hard, yeah.
Yeah, dude. The heaters in the stands were like saunas.
Yeah.
You'd
get a tan.
Wow. Yeah, you'd be like, oh my God. It's like no wonder the place burnt down.
Oh, that's probably what happened.
Yeah, honestly, dude.
One fell or something?
Yeah, and because they operate at like volcanic temperatures. Like, it's insane.
Oh, man. They need to. They're so freaking cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a bummer, but at least we still got Memorial and
Yeah.
all those. But I was doing rent-a-goalie, and like I never get games at Memorial, which bums me out.
Really?
Never, dude. It's always the new arenas.
Well, yeah, Memorial's like all leagues.
Yeah.
You'll never find like pickup.
Beer league, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is sort of a bummer. I miss like just being there. It was such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It's like the stereotypical Canadian rink,
Right.
you know, like small dressing rooms and just
Well, they shot a lot of, I want to say movies, but yeah, I think a couple movies. I think like one of the slap shots was shot at Memorial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Memorial. And a lot of like TV shows, they use that arena.
Yeah, I know there was a Tim's commercial with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always use Memorial.
Yeah, it's legendary, dude.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Damn, that's a good gig for a touring musician. Rent a goalie whenever
Yeah.
you're home.
Yeah, I ended up developing a ton of injuries though.
Really?
Yeah, so that
Slap
kinda
shots to the
sucked.
head?
No, it's like on my knees. I think I was just
Oh.
playing so much, and I feel like growing up playing hockey, it's like you're playing a lot, but I don't know. It's just not this. It's like you're maybe playing maybe 1 or 2 games a week. I mean,
Yeah.
you might have a couple practices, but practices, you know, you don't really want to be going down as much. It's a lot of drills. You're basically just a target.
Yeah.
But doing rent-a-goalie, it's like
They expect you to perform.
kind of. Also, when you're playing with lower level guys, you just end up moving in awkward ways because the play isn't moving the way it should. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like when a game is filled with like proper hockey players, it's like you kind of know what's happening. There's a flow to it. There's like a system to it.
Yeah.
And you as a goalie can read the play so much easier.
Yeah.
But the lower the skill level goes, it just becomes like it's just so hard to know anything. It's just you end up like doing things that you're like, I don't even, what the fuck am I doing? Like, well, I don't even know how I'm supposed to play this.
Right.
Because everything just happens in slow motion. And by the time like you move, it's like someone's already been like circling around in front of the net and no one's taking the puck off him. And then he falls over and it bounces off another guy. And you're like, and you just end up like pulling things and like, you know what I mean?
Wow, I never thought of that, but it makes sense. Like,
And then
really? You're going to do that? Oh,
Yeah.
that pulled my knee.
And then like, especially when you get like a breakaway and the dude can't really skate, you're like, oh, this guy's going to go right into me. Like my guy might not be able to stop. like this guy's just gonna run me over, and he, you know, he'll like, he won't be able to stop. He'll just sort of try to fall over out of the way. Like he'll shoot and then like half shoot, half fall over at the same time.
Jump to the side.
Yeah, and like fall over to the side.
I've seen that.
Oh man, it's the move, man. It's the D level beer league move.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Oh, man, I miss hockey. I haven't played since... Well, my dad came out to San Diego in March, and I played.
Yeah, I wanted to play when I was out there.
There's some good spots. There's
Yeah.
some... and what's nice is, like, most of the people who play have played for a while, whereas
Cool.
around here you just get a lot of random anything.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. There's not much ice, so everyone who goes out is like, all right, this
They're
is my
stoked.
time to get ice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, here you could play like 100 times a day if you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Are they a little nicer out there? Or?
Yeah, like you won't really get the all right, I'm here to play hockey, and with hockey comes fighting. You know how you get that around here where it's
yeah. There's like a certain attitude about things, and you're like, bro, like this is like we all have to go to work tomorrow.
right. There's some guys who are just like, well, I'm the glue man. Like I'm here to make sure that my team's protected. It's like, protected from what? No one's even hitting. So I used to find that, especially out in Hamilton when I used to play in a beer league with my cousins.
Yeah.
There was some goons that were just like,
Yeah.
don't touch my goalie. I'm like, I'm just seeing if he's going to drop the puck.
Yeah, like I really,
I didn't even touch him.
yeah, dude. Especially you could probably get that a ton because you're so big.
Yeah.
Like you're like you got like a bullseye on you.
I was getting a lot of like the whole team trying to like jump
Yeah.
me if I came near the goalie. And I was like, we're not even
doing anything.
hitting. Like,
Dude, I remember we played this small show together back so long ago.
in Brampton?
No, I don't know where we were. We were somewhere weird, somewhere small and weird.
Up north?
No, dude, I don't know. I don't remember. But I just remember being outside and this dude wanting to fight you. I remember it so well. I don't know where it was, dude. It would have been. It's not Peterborough, but think of that general vibe.
Yeah. I think I remember. There's a lot of instances like that, especially at bars when people are drunk, and I have to like awkwardly try and like dance around getting in a fight with someone and like trying to like just, I don't know why that you want to fight me, but like let's not.
Yeah, they're just small and angry, and they're like, I'm gonna punch somebody.
Yeah.
And they just like, you're the first person they see, and because you're just like up here.
And everybody wants to be like, oh, I kicked a 6'9" guy's ass. It's like, well, he's a freaking musician who hasn't fought since high school. Like,
yeah, dude, I feel that.
But
it's so funny. But yeah, dude, like, what I was gonna say is I played one beer league game with all these old guys. They're all like, it was a 45 plus league.
Yeah.
And first game I played with these dudes, the guy got his shoulder separated. For like that same reason you're talking about, where like this dude just thinks he's like the guy who has to stand up for everybody else.
Yep.
And like I guess this dude like pushed a guy over, but it's not hard to do. Some of these dudes are in their 60s, like they just fall over.
Right.
And like his teammate, like as soon as this guy got the puck, his teammate just like stormed at him and pushed him into the boards, and he separated his shoulder. And I was like, and then it was crazy because in the dressing room after, the whole team was like, let us just pop it back in for you. Because you know you can just pop a shoulder back in?
I guess.
And he was like, you know what, I feel a lot better about an ambulance, like a paramedic doing it. He's like, they won't do that. They'll make you go to the hospital. He's like, I mean, I'm okay with that. They're like, are you sure, man? Like, just down a couple beers. Just like, because they're like, here, we'll give you 2 beers. Just chug them as fast as you can. Should help loosen you up. We're going to pop the shoulder back in. He's like, you know what, guys? Like, I thank you, but like, nah, like, I'm actually good. And I watched this go on for 15 minutes, and I'm just a rent-a-goalie.
Yeah. You're just like, these guys are nuts.
And I had to speak up. I usually never get in on this, but I was like, yeah, I think you guys should probably just let him go to the hospital. Like,
yeah.
Oh, man, it was so awkward. It was so weird. But those guys ended up becoming big fans of Bearings.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, they asked me why I was doing rent-a-goalie, and I was like, oh, I play in a band, and when I'm home, like, I need to make money.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let us hear your band. And I was like, yeah, sure. And they loved, like, Blue in the Dark and Where You Are.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, Blue in the Dark, dude, it feels like. Because they're like, I don't know, man. Just the way, like, dudes over 40 listen to rock music is just one of those funny things where, like, they just view it differently.
Yeah, they think, oh, man, you guys must be, like, pulling lots of babes.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
always the first question.
Yeah,
And you're
I
like,
want to hang out with this guy.
yeah, dude, every time. And you're like, actually, dude, we just, like, sit in our green room and play Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, we're on the internet a lot, like, trying to promote.
Yeah, it's, like, really not like that. It's not the 70s anymore. And they're like, oh, yeah, I mean, and you're like, yeah, no. It's always, like, one of those funny things. So, yeah, when was the last... And you did Europe, yeah? Europe and UK?
Yeah, in, like, 2016, right before Self-Titled came out, which was, like, awesome to get new people, but, like, at the same time, a lot of the shows, especially the UK, people just didn't really know about the shows sort of thing.
True.
Or, you know, they just didn't know the band, so they kind of like here. It's like, why go spend money on a show for more expensive drinks?
Yeah, true.
But the last couple were really good. And then all of, like, actual Europe, Czech Republic, Austria.
Damn, we never got to do those.
Dude, those are, like, music spots. Czech
Really?
Republic, they just love guitar music still.
Isn't there something crazy about those spots, though, where, like, if you get pulled over by the cops, like, you gotta, like, bribe them?
We never ran into that, but you do get pulled over, especially in, like, Germany and Austria, just by, like, you wouldn't even think they're cops. It was just like, they look like student cops, like a young girl and a young guy, and their license plate, or, like, the thing above their car, I think it was, starts saying, like, pull over, pull over. Like, it looks like a Vegas, like, taxi.
Yeah.
And they just, like, ask to see. The big thing there is if you have your what's it called? It's almost like a sticker to drive. Not not like an emission sticker, but like a sticker to say that you've paid that country's fees or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So that was one toll thing that we didn't expect and was getting really annoying.
Yeah.
Is anytime we would like enter a country, it was like, yo, it's $14 here. Yo, this one is like $55, but it covers you for 3 weeks. But we're only here for 1 day. Yeah, but you got to pay the 3 weeks. That's the only one they have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, geez. So they check to see if you have those stickers. Otherwise, you can get a huge fine.
Yeah.
But
I was wondering, because the van we took had like all these crazy stickers.
Yeah.
Tons. Like, we were like, what are all these for? And our driver was like, you need all of these.
That's nice that you had them.
We rented from like this, they literally, their whole thing, I'm sure maybe you rented, how did you guys rent your van?
Oh, it was the most
like a whole
annoying
thing?
thing. Well, we just had we had an awesome driver, Kaz.
Yeah, that's who we had.
Dude, no way.
Yeah.
The Scottish dude?
Yeah, Kaz is a
the
legend, bro.
So were you in his Sprinter? With the
so-
bed in the back?
So he said he also does that sort of stuff, but we just hired him as a driver.
Okay.
So like we were renting from this other company.
Yeah.
And they literally only rent to bands. Well, not only bands, but their whole thing is mostly just bands.
Yeah.
And it's like they're used for touring. And we rented a vehicle that had broken down. So they gave us this beautiful Sprinter. And it was like what you're saying. It had like a bed in the back. It was like, it had like a table.
Yeah.
And we were all hanging out. You could have like drinks and like, it was so dope. And then our actual van came in. And we definitely got what we paid for.
Oh, he downsized.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. But
But it was just you five in that van.
Yeah, it was
Plus Kaz.
It was us five and our manager, so like six
Okay.
of us in the seating area, and then Kaz driving and
Man, I'm glad I mentioned Kaz, or we would have never discovered this. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I actually knew this.
Okay.
That's why I was asking you about Europe. Was like because he mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like, yo, what other Canadian like bands do you know or whatever? And like that's how we got into that. And he's like, oh yeah, like I drove for that guy. And I was like, oh no way, dude. He lives like right by me.
Yeah, I still message him every year or so, see how he's doing. And he's not allowed back to the States for like 7 years for one of those, work permit reasons.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think it's scary entering the States and we can just drive home.
And he used to drive
And
for
they don't even get that option.
state champs. Is that who you were out there with?
No, so well that's how we ended up like we went up with this band called Set It Off.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know them.
So yeah, and it was weird because the tour was like had already like sold out, and then we got added to it.
Nice.
So we basically knew it was basically them doing us a huge favor.
Yeah.
Because we had I don't know, man. It always feels like we have nothing, and then all of a sudden, like 3 tours happen.
Dude,
like
that's
it's
awesome.
always the one. It's like, oh man, like no one likes us, and then like something will happen. We'll be like, oh yeah, we're cool. Like we're cool. We got some tours. All right, let's go.
The roller coaster.
So yeah, they helped us out and like brought us over there, and they were awesome. And but yeah, no, Kaz ended up driving for us. I don't know. I don't really know how we ended up with him. I think we just ended up with him.
It's not surprising. He drives for bands all year round, all the time. So it's just like, it's not surprising that he's going to run into people that I know too. But he used to drive for like, he drove state champs on Warped Tour here, obviously. And so he was always listening to state champs and telling us about those dudes as they were like just blowing up.
Yeah.
And so we were in his van at first for the first 2 days. And we were like, all right, this is cool. There's a bed in the back, our gear below the bed. Mm-hmm. But there was 9 of us in that vehicle because I had Time and Distance playing for me, and then I was playing guitar for them. So that's 4 of us. Mm-hmm. And then this band, Confessions of a Traitor, they were they were a 5-piece. Yeah, so that's 9. Mm-hmm. 5 of them, 4 of us, and then Kaz.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, dude.
And so 2 days into the tour, his van breaks down. I think it was the fuel injector. So it was like, we're not getting that fixed anytime soon. So we get another van, slightly smaller, and he was like, I don't know how long I can rent this one or how much it's going to be. We're going to try and work it out to be the same price because we're paying for all this. Like, essentially, we were kind of like buying on by getting the van, whereas Confessions of a Traitor bought on to tour with I Set My Friends on Fire.
Yeah.
So we're like, this was the deal. We got to cover the van. Hopefully it's not more.
Yeah.
That van breaks down. We're like pushing it down the road, trying to get it to start, which doesn't even work with a diesel anyway. And then we ended up renting a nice Mercedes, probably from the same place that you guys rented from. And it was nice, but yeah, it was like 3, and then 3 in the front. Mm-hmm. And if I was in the front, my knees were touching the dashboard. Like,
yeah, I did. This is how the second van we had was.
Yeah.
It makes you grateful for Ford. You know, you get home and you get American vans again, and you're like, oh my God, they're big. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, if something breaks, like if you're driving a Ford on the highway and it breaks, you can be in the middle of anywhere.
Get it fixed.
And it's like, do you have Ford parts? Yeah. Like any random mechanic shop will have Ford parts, and you're on the road the next day.
That's why I'm afraid of getting like a Sprinter here. Because like Mainsail's looking for a van, and we're like, oh, a Sprinter and a trailer, we're set for so long.
Yeah.
But if one thing goes wrong with that Mercedes,
it's hard to get fixed.
Yeah, and you're
it's
paying
expensive.
big dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the great thing about like Fords and Chevys too.
Yeah.
Both of them is just like you can just get it fixed anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that was the crazy. Like we broke down 3 times on the way home from LA, and every time it was like.
Oh yeah, because you guys had no shows between LA and home, right?
No, yeah, like we literally were just like, we're just gonna huff it home.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, we've drove that van into the ground.
Yeah.
Like it's been our van since the very beginning. It's been our van. It's been our van since the very beginning. So it's like, it's probably about time we get a new one soon. But we're gonna see how many.
You're still cruising it.
We're gonna see how much longer we can get away with it. Yeah.
How many kilometers does it have? I guess.
I think we got it with 100,000, and now it has, I think, it's definitely over 200,000.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So it's still, it's probably getting close to 240, maybe 250. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Like, it still, I think, has a lifespan. Just it's a little small because it's only a 12-seater. So we'd prefer the 15-passenger, but...
And you pull a trailer with it?
Yeah, heavy trailer.
That's what's killing it.
The heaviest trailer. But nothing like that has gone wrong. It's always just, like, small things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like our transmission is gone or our engine has trouble. It's like, all of that seems to be okay. It just seems to be... And every time we bring it in, they go, it's healthy. It's just all these stupid little things.
It's all for the video game, man.
It's all for the game.
We gotta meet someone at Activision or something.
Yeah, get him to make it.
Who's like, yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah. And then we'll make every dude in their 40s play it and be like, this is actually what a band is. This is what we have to do.
This is what a band is now. It's not like that Motley Crue movie.
It's not like
Have you seen that movie?
I have, dude. It's so crazy.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen, though.
Dude, it's like
it's just so cheesily, like it's nothing close to Rocket Man and like...
Yeah, no.
I was expecting that.
Oh, okay.
Meets Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, no. It's tacky. It's tacky.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's so tacky.
And like, I have not seen many movies, so anytime I see a movie, I'm like, holy shit, movies are getting good.
Yeah, they are.
But when I saw that with my girlfriend, we were just laughing like... This seems like a parody. The writing is so bad.
And a lot of the facts are pretty off. Like their first show was like a sold-out show at this like thing.
Oh, really?
Because a couple of them were coming from other bands that had done okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So like they made it like seem like they'd like everybody fucking hated this band, and it was like nah, dude, like they were pretty good. They were starting out on some good legs apparently. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of things that are like obviously made to be quite dramatic so that the movie works.
Hollywoodified.
Yeah, Hollywoodified, which I get that. But yeah dude, that's just what I expect though. I expect that acting though out of any Netflix movie.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think, oh, it's a Netflix movie. Yeah. I was expecting,
Yeah, dude, that's just what I expect. And then that makes, like, I watch movies like that and I'm like, this was fine for Netflix. And then I go to the theater and I watch like a movie like, I think, what was it called? 1914 or something?
Oh, 1917. I still haven't seen that.
That one. Dude, I went to the theater and watched that, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy that people can make movies like this.
And it's all one shot.
Yeah, it's like all one thing, and it's super intense, and like everything about it is incredible. And you're like, how do people do this shit?
Dude, I got to see that. I really only watch movies with my girlfriend, and she hates war movies, and I love war movies.
But it's not really a war movie. Like, it's like it is, but it's like so much of it is. It's sort of like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
How you're like.
Yeah, it looks like that vibe.
It looks like it's like all this crazy shit happens when people talk about it, but in reality, like 80% of it is walking, and just like the relationship that is happening between the characters while they're walking. Like, that's really what most of it is. And then, like, it gets to a point, you know, it's just like, it's like feeling like how they feel, even though nothing's really happening. And then something happens, and they're just like, you know, it's just, they just do a really good job. The actors, I don't know, I can't imagine how hard it'd be to act in a movie like that. To be like, I feel like in most movies, like, if you fuck up the take, it's like, okay.
You do 20 takes.
Yeah, you can just do another because it's quick. It's like, you know, but if you fuck up a take when the scene is like 5 minutes long before the next cut.
Oh, so they are kind of cut. But
they find ways to like if they're following them walking and it goes behind a house, they kind of use that house as like a
we can cut
segue
here.
to the next thing. So they really did it really like in a clever way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I feel like when you fuck up that take, you're like, oh no. Here we go again, dude. Here we go.
All right, I got to see that.
Yeah, and one important part, it's not a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, the main character's like running. He has to get this message off.
Yeah, I saw it in the preview.
Yeah, and he just slams into another soldier, just absolutely wipes out. Just like, you know, because they're all running, they're all going out into no man's land, and he's like trying to go through them to try to get this message to one of the generals.
Yeah.
And he just slams into a dude and wipes out. And apparently, like, that wasn't planned.
Oh.
Like, that was just, like, they had all the extras running out. And he was supposed to sort of try to, like...
Dodge everybody?
Yeah, I guess they just thought, like, they'd sort of be watching out for that. And this one extra, like, just was running and wasn't really paying attention. And they just, like, slam into each other. And he wipes out. And the director's like, "Go, just keep going." And he's just like, "Okay." And it's like so realistic because it's like that's how it would have been. Like you would slam into somebody. There's like hundreds of soldiers running onto a battlefield.
Yeah.
It's just cool to think that they even the accidents that happened during filming, like they were like, this is sick.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, it's like writing a song when you like do something stupid by accident. You're like,
that actually sounds cool.
That's
keeping
so
it.
dope. Yeah, that like makes it. That's so cool, you know?
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. I love accidents that rock.
Yeah. Yeah, Death Cab for Cutie is all about that. That's what they're always. I've been watching Ben Gibbard's streams a lot.
Yeah.
During this pandemic.
What does he stream?
Basically, what you're doing, just sits and plays on acoustic.
Cool.
Death Cab songs, Postal Service songs. He'll hop on the piano every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's got me stoked on Death Cab.
Yeah.
Again, you know, I'm hearing all these songs from high school that I'm just like, oh man, I can remember every word to this song.
Yeah, Death Cab's crazy.
Yeah.
They're so good. They just do it right. Like, I don't know. They're killer.
They're a musician's band.
They definitely are.
Great gear, great tone, great songs.
Yeah, when we were doing Blue in the Dark, we referenced Death Cab so much.
Yeah.
Just for that one song.
Because I could see that.
It's sort of like dark and vibey and
yeah.
So, yeah, they rock, dude.
Well, we're probably a little over an hour. We've talked video games, we've talked music, we've talked movies. That's pretty much the state of my art. That's what it's all about. This is basically just a platform to get artists' voices heard, and courtesy of Vocalese, I got some stuff for you, some throat spray for next time you get a little hoarse voice.
Okay, beautiful.
And some lip balm for those cold and hot days that your lips are cracking. All natural ingredients from Vocalese.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Proper. That's a wrap.